And we are live. And indoors as well. Oh, there's things to do, but you know, I'm feeling dazed and confused. And Lorcan's in there watching in the next room. So we need to get past him. So might put it on mute. Is there anybody out there? My knees aching, my back's aching, my wrist is aching, my heart is aching. Is this be? This be? Heart aches for this be? And it's all over, folks. I can't even move without knocking my phone over. Sometimes. It's the soul chestnut. Oh, that's I'm giving up. I can't even move. I'll be back. Oh, jeez Louise. Every time. Every time. Okay. Oh my God. Same thing all the time. There you go. There. Like that corner. You like that corner, don't you? See that? Expertly done. Do it like at least 7 times a day. Save the bee, save the bee. What about the hoverfly? No. It's okay. My friend. You're my friend. I'm your friend. Freedom. That's not another hoverfly. He's like, me now, do me now. Come here to me. Come here to me. Like, come on, you're literally getting there's a blue ball or something over there. You're gonna do me next? Hell no. You may perish. I don't know. We'll see. Can't let any creatures just die like that. I just died, thank you. That's horrible. Hoverfly, what are you doing? You don't want to leave? Alright, we can hang out for a while. That tomato wants to leave anyway until the evenings. I just want to perish. That's these ones though. The same variety. Like 7 of them here. I think that's plenty. No? Big smelly French tomatoes. Smelly French tomatoes, I said. Not smelly French. Okay? Alright. French beans. There's a bunch of crap to be done, alright, as always. As I said, my knee's aching, my back's aching, my wrist is aching, and my heart is aching. Dazed and confused, man. Anybody in the chat? No. Cowards. I start talking politics, and you'll all jump in the chat. Say hi anyway. Hit the like button. I haven't watered the place today. It's dry as a bone out there. But I got out too late and the sun was around, so it seemed pointless and just watering the dry soil just for it to evaporate immediately. So I'm gonna wait until it's a little further away. I haven't even watered in the mint or anything until I divided and pot on right now. And Sweet William, technically. You nearly forget about that in its third year. Towards you. No likes, no highs, hellos. That's the way it goes. Oh no. Disaster has struck this marigold. That's snail damage. The hungry snail. That's because that area is full of crap, including my fleece and 2 tubs of valuable manure and compost in them as well that I'm currently not using them for anything. Only half a bag of compost left. Dun, dun, dun. Who's watching? Hit the like button. Or I'll hunt your dreams. Ooh. Will you survive the night? Well, maybe we can tidy that area up. Dispose of all the tomatoes that there's no use for. There's 1 cucumber there though. Struggling in a small pot. It's hard to say something in the chat there. Me hopes up. Get me hopes. I might as well remove the cotyledons. That's the notion. There's an idea. There's an idea now. I just came up with an idea. Oh, the dog agrees. Is that a dog? It is, allegedly. See, it's a sprawling habit, and it kind of wants to do that. I always try and send it upright vertically. It doesn't really like that though. It prefers that kind of thing, or even trailing along the ground. You see, it wants to do that. Maybe a little bit of support. It's just a space thing though for me. I think next year though, I'm gonna do some sort of a side way trellis over in the longest bed there where I have cabbages. Because again, I have ones here that are on see, you see that? It's upright, you know what I mean? And it's asking a lot of them really when they really want to either trail or trail sort of in a reclining sort of horizontal, vertical, diagonal. That's the word. It's somewhere in between those two. Cootladini heart on se Gardine Ella heart of June. I can't free nearly son. I can't get growth. None of my business. Anyway, a country got good, except my business. Anyway, I was waffling about this cucumber, trailing along, and my wish for more space. But yeah, courgettes and cucumber next year, I think, can go out there together, and I'll try and sort out some sort of a decent cover and all. Plenty of time, but I said a lot of this last year about different things, and then it rolls around and you get stuck in old ways. Old habits die hard, don't they? To Neil Simpson, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Just started winter here 2 days ago. Australia or before spring. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's nice to see a familiar, well, I was going to say a familiar face, but a familiar name anyway. Yeah. But I guess winter there is probably quite, I mean, you can grow things in winter, I assume, no? I don't know. It's just that the weather conditions are more extreme, you know? I'd imagine. Yeah, that's what people here in Ireland, although of late it's gotten a little bit more extreme, to be fair. But, you know, back in the day at least, they'd be complaining about the weather so much, where nothing would really happen but rain, sort of grey clouds and rain, a bit of wind, and whatever, you know. It's not like we have tornadoes or hurricanes or tsunamis or earthquakes or fucking flooding's pretty bad, but that's down more so to mismanagement. We can't really blame the weather necessarily if you build a development on a floodplain, for example. Just one example. See a little beauty. Can't let her go to waste. But I have that front patch. You may have seen my Alliums Hate Me Part 2, where allium leaf miner, which seems to be a big thing, you know, like, maybe it's just because I was focusing on it and now that's what's being recommended to me, but I don't think I've even searched that. Like, and a bunch of stuff's been coming up about allium leaf miner, a lot of it in the UK, mind you. I haven't seen anything in Ireland, but that's the first time I've experienced it. All my onions are ruined, so. Cucumber, yeah. I was talking about how they much prefer like trailing, or at least going sort of diagonally growing up. Yeah, only ever grown sort of more vertically due to space conditions, and they grow best in the greenhouse where you can get a bit of humidity going. And but they still struggle to grow on those vertical ones, the canes in this case. No matter how much I tie them up, whatever, they really just want to like recline, sort of almost. So I've been just going on about that. Unlike, thank you very much. Still don't know whether this is a moneymaker or some sort of determinate bush tomato. That's why I'm hesitant to pull out those side shoots. But then you can see it's kind of starting to do something at the top there. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a vining habit, but it's kind of what those demands are doing very quickly, mind you. Big flowers forming. I've never grown those big beefy heirloom ones with the ridges on them, So, I don't know. They look like a bit of an oddity to me. A beautiful oddity, but I wonder if they're okay. So I'll just continue doing what I always do. Hope for the best. Trying to grow winter peas. Cool. Do they actually grow through the winter? I guess, yeah. Your winter is going to be relatively warm, I imagine. I'm thinking about them growing through the winter, Because here, they'll just sort of hibernate a bit and then pick up again in the spring. Like, I guess, what would be something like that? Brad beans, maybe, or something. Can't they be put down sort of sometime in... Anyway, what else did you say? Broccoli has you, absolutely mammoth leaves. No broccoli. Oh. I don't know. Maybe too much nitrogen. That's the first thing you could think of, isn't it? And not the right, have you been feeding it with anything? These are like your traditional broccoli head, I assume, yeah? That's the thing I've often thought about cauliflower as well. How big and beautiful the leaves are, and you're kind of looking at it, is that it? Just a little head in the middle. Yeah. I've never grown that. I've only grown purple sprouting broccoli. And speaking of which, that's what I'm doing right now, actually. I should be doing a lot of things, like sorting out a place for that, and yeah, recording a video for the rest of like the sad onion harvest crop, failed harvest. It was only 20 or something. But I have a few thoughts on that I'll share in that video as well about the allium leaf miner. But pending what happens, I know. There's a few onions that I have somewhere else that are seemingly doing okay. And I kind of didn't even want to disturb them in case they sent out an odor or something. So they got quite weedy. I pulled out a few weeds yesterday. They seem to be still okay. And yeah, I don't know if they've just that they found their home with the second year leeks, the garlic and the onions, and they're like, grand, this will do us. But these other ones though, they're in a raise there, so I wonder, like the carrot fly can fly like higher than, 18 inches or something like it, or generally doesn't stay quite low. So if you grow carrots in a sort of raised up or with a barrier that high, they generally don't go over it. That's the idea. Maybe it's similar with the leaf, the allium leaf miner. Something similar. I don't know. I need to look into it. But just looking around the garden, it could be a possibility. And my leeks that survived into this year weren't affected. Maybe I took them up too early for the leaf miners to damage them. But I'm not sure. And no snow in winter here where I live anyway, so I get a few peas, but definitely more in spring. Yeah. We hardly get snow here either. get more likely to get snow in very early spring here. Very late winter, early spring. But it can get quite cold, on the ground. Or frost and whatever. And even the rain can be quite damaging to young crops. Not to mention inviting a bunch of snails. When times are tough through the winter, a grand buffet of whatever it is. Peas. Right. The stream started a little later than I scheduled because I had to go back to the other live stream that I did when I was sowing. It was 8 days ago that I sowed the purple sprout and broccoli, kale, and chard. And they're little tiny seedlings now, but I've no time to lose, so I'm sitting here waffling, but you know what I mean. Generally speaking, I do. I have lots of time to lose. Grand. I'm so sorry. That's the second time I've done that. Probably gave you a shock, did it? Gave me a shock, didn't it? Oh Lord. Here they are, 8 days later. I believe that's the purple sprout and broccoli. That's definitely the chard. And that's the kale. Right? Right. They're still a little bit small to break out, but I'm gonna try it anyway. But I need to fill up some 3-inchers. Your plants look so happy and healthy. Well, except for the ones that aren't happy and healthy like these. But like I've got no really use for those, or it's not use necessarily, it's space, I've got enough. It's like it's so crowded out there, and things are going to pass away and whatever. There might be a few things to back them up. My annual flowers over there, they're all struggling as well, but it turns out that the only things that really came up were calendula. So I should have just went out and I actually have calendulas. I should have just sowed my calendula seeds. They were a big mix of all sorts of things. The calendula were the only thing that came up. So, and yeah, I've got other bits and bobs up here. They're dead, but they were just transplanted from. These are all just, well, these I hope to be okay anyway, and these and that, and hopefully this and those and that, and this bad boy as well came up very late. No idea what it is. It's some sort of sturdy little determinant though. I assume it needs some water and a bit of care. And that's one of those demand ones that's just ready for the compost bit. So I don't even want this table in here. And I want to move all of that stuff and put my cucumbers over there where I'll be a little bit more humid because I have my zip-locked door there. They have no choice, it would be more humid. And then I can leave my tomatoes over on this side. And we'll see how that works out or doesn't. And a bit of space for a couple of these. I was thinking there, as I was sitting, I could put this shabby old piece of rubbish over here when I move all this out, and put maybe a couple of chilies up here and put this and maybe one of its friends, maybe use that one for example, put that in one of the big ones and leave them here and see if I can train them up this, and then have a couple of chili friends here and they'll be hanging out. You have these ideas and then nothing works out. Such is life. As I said, I got some bad news late last night, so my mind's sort of not really good. Not to mention I'm aching and paining. Can leave you there. I need to make space here to put this camera. I'm entirely unprepared. So actually no, I'll just put it back over here. Slugs. Slugs and snails are the worst enemy in the garden, so what do you know? Yeah. I find like I kind of have a soft spot for snails, even though they do a whole lot of damage. I'm thinking even of doing a video about snails, sort of defending them a little bit. Defending. I'm here, defense attorney on behalf of the case of snails versus gardeners. Don't get me wrong, they do a lot of damage, but maybe I should save my argument for the video. Ooh, my god. Be in the similar vein of my earthworms video, but hopefully I was very unwell at that time, so I'm a little bit better now. So I think I did a good job scripting my first video with the worm view. It's better if you speed it up when you're watching it, so humble heroes. But I was thinking of doing one in a similar vein for snails. Not like saying that they're good, to have them around, like just, get more into your garden, but maybe just to give them the little bit of credit for what they do. That's good, at least. And slugs, on the other hand, they haven't even got a nice fancy house in their background. This is anti-homeless snail sentiment over here. No, slugs are gross. I fed my broccoli with homemade DIY banana juice. Maybe they freaked out and decided not to make any broccoli, but I will use the leaves somehow or another. Yeah. The younger leaves, particularly less fibrous ones, are still good. That's my favorite thing probably about the broccoli, purple sprouting broccoli, is the young leaves and the actual kind of stalk bit of the flower. It's not even, most of the time I get quite small buds on the purple sprouting broccoli, but my favorite bit is those small little leaves and then the flower stalk as well, to a point where it's like tender, They're actually my favorite bit. It's like the kale as well. I love the flower buds on those as well. Something that people don't really, unless they grow them, don't really maybe experience. Yeah, the whole plant's pretty much edible, but a lot of it's like fibrous, right? So you need fiber in your diet. Get out there munching those broccoli leaves. The more mature, the better. Should get me a bigger tarp, maybe. Or just get, I know what I'll do. I'll also use leftover compost. Speaking of which, we have a few dead things here. Taking up space, we'll use that compost as well. So we will. Banana juice though. But what's in that? Just like banana peels soaked in water, I guess, isn't jadam. I remember somebody mentioning that, and I was like, oh yeah, I saw some videos on it. But something I've done for years, I guess it's more a broader sort of technique, incorporating a bunch of different things. But I used to use nettle tonic a lot, which is basically just nettle soaked in water, strained, and then used mostly as a leaf feed for brassicas and stuff like that. And I thought the cabbages that I used to grow, I'm not so big into growing big cabbages anymore. I used to grow whopper things, monster yolks. I think on my first Alliums Hate Me video, there's a picture from about 11 years ago where I'm holding up a cabbage. And I know you'll think to yourself, you haven't aged today. In fact, you've gotten younger. I think I would prefer your country's climate to here in Australia. Yeah, so would I. I've never been to Australia, but I can imagine I'd just combust on landing or stepping off the plane. That's what I imagine anyway. It's just like you're desperate to stay by the coast and don't go inland. Don't go inland. It's like no, and there's so many things that can bite you. Things jumping out of the water and running up the toilet. Oh, summer is 1,000 degrees and summer's yeah, I can imagine. Only imagine. Thank goodness. Just put on the heel, soak some water and let it sit on you. Like the seaweed tonic and the nettle tonic. I assume most of those jadam and stuffs, which are basically the same thing, right? It's just plant matter soaked in water. Right? The PVC greenhouse, I think, makes it sound worse than it is. So, I'm not doing anything, I'm just waffling here. But it is hashtag chat as well. Shit, look. Everything's dying around me. We'll be alright. I can see that, that's starting to flower there, actually. I think it's the cosmos, right? The flower bud starting. I need to pot it out, plant it out somewhere. I was gonna just put it in the open ground next to a couple of pansies. But then a dahlia came up unexpectedly next to the pansies, so I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry, Cosmos, I like you, I love you. But a dahlia coming up unexpectedly, what am I gonna do? Just pull that up and say, no, Cosmos first. So, yeah, normally they're best in bunches. I have more. But I just wanted to keep them separate, like, do their own thing. And I might put them around separately, I'm not too picky. I only started adding flowers more and more into the garden in the past 5 years or so. I used to have a lot of nasturtiums and calendula, and still do have calendula. And the nasturtiums, they'll probably start volunteering, growing somewhere around the place. Maybe in a month's time. They seem to wait for a while. But everything's sort of kicking off, and then they realise they're late for the party. I used to keep them growing somewhere far away from the cabbages and other grasses. Keep the snails, slugs, and cabbage white butterflies sort of over in that direction. Onward and upward. This thing's going. If it does, or when it does. Oh. I should really get some to hold this thing a little bit better. Oh yeah, definitely should do that, alright? Alright. On the catwalk. I was keeping some compost in here. And a little bit of manure compost mix. And there's a fucking snail trail gone over. And I was only out here using it, 2 hours ago? With the mints and Sweet William. I wasn't there then. Little feckers. Just talking about them. This fella, did you hear that? He likes us. I'll come out in the morning. Used to be snails. of snails. My personal army of snails. Alright, I'm just filling up pots at the moment, that's all. And then I need to soak them a bit. And then let them chill out for a while. What am I going to use as drainage? Oh, look at that. How convenient. I'll use the floor. You're just getting knocked around the place anyway. Inviting woodlice. Slugs to hide under it as well. You know they're hiding under there. You know they are. In fact, it's just for the bleeding crack. Let's have a look. Oh, we're slug free. Are we? Yeah. For now. We're slug free for now. Oh. I had a hawk drop a deadly brown snake in the back of my ute the other day. They just been fighting. Jesus. I'm here looking at like magpies squawking at robins and robins squawking back. Like, oh, intense stuff going on here today. And the magpie is about to do something. I think the magpie's about to... No, it's not. Just flew away in the other direction. We nearly had something there. Exciting times. Hawks and snakes. Oh my god. Forget about it. Never mind the heat. That's it, you see. The heat will get me. And I'd be like, oh. Next thing you know, I'd be eaten by a bunch of snakes or something. Or whatever. So, beaten up by mugged by a kangaroo. Heat gets you, and then all the creatures are laying in wait. Anyone else here? Hit the like button there, will you please? And speak via text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know how many I need. It's more than 8. More than 8. Yeah, I was thinking about them as well. They'd probably be too slow to really do anything anyway. And they probably wouldn't be bothered, really, would they? Whatever. Oh, yeah, whatever. This thing don't help you though either. Being attacked. Help me, koala. Oh, whatever. I'm slowly being eaten by a snake. I'm holding my phone up with a guitar capo and a plant pot with 2 marigolds in it. Do you feel special? Gloves on, shouldn't I? At least one for rummage around on the ground. bit late now, better late than never. All I'm doing is containing all the bacteria in it. Delicious. I'll see you later. Bank holiday Monday here, so I don't know if the garden centre place is even going to be open. And then how am I going to get a bunch of compost from there to here with no transportation other than a bicycle? That old chestnut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let me just go and check. Should come with me. There are wood lice. Roly-polies. I don't know what they call them in Australia. I know they call them roly-polies in some parts of the States. And, you know, the little kind of plated. I'll show you now. Somebody's burning something for some reason. But anyway, wood lice. What are wood lice? Potatoes, if you don't mind. Hello, wood lice. This place is full of them. Look them out though. They're like, you know, there they are. Loads of them there. Yeah. Help me. Oh. Oh. They're not really, it's probably not a great term for them, but it's not like they won't sort of like come in and start eating through your house necessarily. They're not that kind of, but they're ancient. They're like those what is it? Ammonites or I don't know. Like confusing ancient creatures with some sort of tribe from ancient Middle Eastern times. But those guys anyway, these are quite well developed, these bunch. I think these are a different kind now to the ones I normally see. These are more rugged looking lads. They're like that size at all. Jesus, that's what are we looking at here? Cockroaches or wood lice? Cockroaches as well. They're wood lice. This fucking thing is a monster. I don't know what that is. What are you? What the fuck? That's what I expect. Anyway, gross. I might have to look up my. I can't move those potatoes with one hand. I move them off that one hand, but not back on. I came here for these. Here. Sorry, Basil. You're dying anyway. That's why those osteosperm keep getting battered, because the door keeps battering them. Oh well, I'll bring these in here for now. I actually, don't leave them there. Put them there. There's something roaming around here though as well. Nothing safe. Nothing safe. Nothing safe. A few more of those need to be coming up. Look, theoretically, I could pluck out some of them, leave the other ones in there to grow on inside it. It's perfectly fine. Sort of want to speed it up a little bit just to make sure I have them sort of established young, and then I'll be freaking out because I won't have anywhere to put them. So I'll be like, alright, don't grow too fast. First it's like, right, grow. I was like, right, slow down a bit. Hang on, wait. Sure, once they start, they start. I guess we have very similar looking ones. I think they're the same thing. They're always under the pots, termites, they're bad here also. I'm not sure we have termites here. If we do, I've never seen or experienced them. We've got some cockroaches though. I've seen cockroaches out in the tree. They weren't cockroaches, they were just like battle hardened woodlice. Or whatever, I don't know. That's why I say I need to look up actually. Because, you know, growing up looking at them and I don't really know much about them. So maybe that's a future video as well. Woodlice. They're actually your friend. What did I say? What was what? Purple sprout broccoli. So we'll take that one anyway. It's a nice juicy one. As far as tiny seedlings go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 2 together? That's 1. We'll take 7 of those. So I only want like 2 or 3. I haven't got the space even for 1 yet. In my rough sketch in my mind, that deteriorates further every day. Kale. That's right, isn't it? You see, the kale is red boar, so it's going to look a little bit purpley and red. So it's confused me then with the... I just looked at the second video. That's why I was late. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's kale, right? They're kind of bigger, looking at the moment. Red stem on them, that's a red boar, yeah, it's gotta be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe that one, 7 and 8. Take 8. So that's, what are we looking at? 15. And for the chard, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll leave them to grow a bit. So 10. What did I say? Oh Lord. It was like, yeah, I didn't have 8 and 7 or something. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2. Well, that's a nice one there, but it's between 2 small ones. Talking about that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's go. So it's easier to remember 14, right? And so 24. Isn't that right? Yeah, that's enough. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So far off what I just randomly took out. Sure. I'll probably prick out less or more or whatever. We'll figure it out as we go. Yo ho ho ho. Oh. Yeah, the carrots are just like those Nantes or Chantenay or something like that. Maybe even be a variety. You know the ones, I have some over there. I don't know what to do with them though. There was an issue with rodents last year and they destroyed 90% of my carrots. And I'm freaking out about them. More than carrot fly or aphids or anything. Slugs or snails. So I'm growing some in containers and hopefully I can lift them up out of the way. But you can easily climb this table, which I was going to leave outdoors, which I normally do, with containers of carrots on top. But this tarp was on it last year. The thing's in bits, like it's literally falling apart. But I said I'd use it for one more year. Because, I'm frugal. But yeah, I have no problem climbing up that, and I need to leave it against the wall. I have no trouble climbing up walls. Yeah, I currently have the carrots on something like this, as you saw, in the hope that they won't be able to get to them, or won't sort of be bothered. That's why I was dividing the mint earlier as well, so I could hang some of it up where they were coming in, which was up there, where I have a bunch of old sage hanging up, because apparently they don't like sage. But we've got new neighbours next door, so that's good. The other ones didn't seem to really give a crap, and they were just there for a while, and then they sold the place and moved on. So how do you eat your kale in a stew, or do you bake them into kale chips with salt? Or young kale, I'll just if it's if there's any sort of toughness in it, I'll blanch it a little bit and then put it in a salad if it's young leaves. And then the older ones, my go-to thing is, again, I'll give them a quick steaming and then finish them off in the pan with as a side, with a little bit of garlic butter and salt and pepper. Nice and hot though, I think just steaming it or boiling it or whatever that kind of way is a little bit too bland. But it could be added into other things as well, stews, soups. But I think it's very overpowering in soups, so I only use a little bit. Or it can be, especially grown in the garden, and you're just coming out, grabbing it and bringing it in. It's quite strong flavoured, so it can overpower other things. Yeah, I've roasted it as well at times, but that's better with the broccoli and sort of the kale flower heads, roasting it up a little bit, just at a high heat for a brief time, with a little bit of spice or just salt and pepper or whatever. Olive oil. Olive oil, but that you can't be using that. The high temperature, but only for a short time. So help the crispiness and the flavour. I've never had kale. Oh no, I have not really, but roasted kale, with a little drizzle of oil over it, salt at the end. But they're not kale chips, they're more and it's how I like it, where it's parts of it are crispy and other parts are still a little bit soft. Nice bit of finishing salt even on it or something. Oh Lord. Wish you could do that to anything really. It'd be tasty, wouldn't it? My army of pots. Have I got enough? I don't know. We gotta move on. If the garden centre is open, they won't be open for long. If they are open, they'll probably be closed at 6. And it's currently 5:20. So probably not gonna get there today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done counting. Who am I? The count. I love to count. We've enough. We don't. No, it's not seed compost, but I'm not sieving it, and it is full of chunky manure. boss. It is, boss. You make me think about those crispy, soft sort of kale leaves. No more kale. Like just the one I'm about to. Well, actually, I do it. I do. But that's gone to a stir fry, along with some mustard and whatever else happens to be out there, and some noodles. And no meat, because I don't have any. Gotta collect a bag full of woodlice. What that is, what kind of wood that was. I'm gonna run out of compost here anyway. 3 viewers and 1 like. Hit that like button, people. And say hello in the chat. Subscribe. Half a bag left, lads. Half a bag. Back in a minute. That's it. Looks like I'm humping the bag. No manure in this one, I think. No manure. Oh yeah, I have those in there for extra. Extra. Oh no. It's fresh. It's fresh. So damn fresh. Oh, you said something. Sorry. I wonder why no one else is talking. I can talk under water when I'm out. I'm cooking up pea and ham soup tomorrow night. It's a nice winter meal. Yeah, winter. Oh my god, I'm here like sweating. And how do you eat your head unless you don't? You're the only one here with me now. And thanks very much for your company. They come and they go. There's 4 people here and then you and 3 others. They're all gonna run away and realise how boring this is. Or they might stay and hit the like button. They may even say hello. 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 Hello, how you doing? How you getting on? I don't know. He's crazy. To you and some other person. Hello, other person. Hit the like button there. Say hello. Come on. You are not alone. I'm here with you. Alone again. Naturally. Ireland's own. Gilbert does alone. I believe he's from Waterford. It's the home of down that way is probably the best weather in the country. Wexford and Waterford are known, well, probably more so Wexford, known for the strawberries. The southeast. Whereas up here in Dublin, we're known for crime. Well, North Dublin though, that's potato country. It's a lot of other thing country as well. To me, that's very much potato country. I was going to say rape country is a rape seed. But yeah, I don't know. You'd be afraid to say anything on these live streams. We'll just stop all of a sudden. Never boring in here. Oh well. Yeah, when you're doing it. If you're watching it, maybe. And it's me you're watching, maybe you get bored fast. Especially if you're between 18 and 25 anyway. This won't even show up on your feed. There's a chunky bit. It's in there. Seems like, I suppose it is, isn't it, in a way? Say it's almost like coal, but you know, give it a few million years or something, and enough pressure or whatever. Or maybe more than a few million. I don't know. I'm no fucking geologist. Oh. Excuse me. Have a stretch. And a bend. Oh no, I'm stuck. We have one lovely viewer. Two viewers. Hello. Oh, I'm potting on seedlings. Kale. Isn't that right? purple sprout and broccoli. Chard. Thinks bright lights. It's a variety. They're all tiny little babies, so you need to be careful. We're going to transport all these pots outside, and I'm going to water them and let them sit for a bit, and then stick holes in them with my finger probably, or some implement, and then prick them out with another implement and slot them in there. So that's the plan going forward. Let's see if we can execute it flawlessly. In you go, fellas. We're going on a little journey outside. Why don't I just water them in here? Because I don't want water to go over here. So I'm going to put them in my potato patch and water them there, and any excess water will go towards the prati. That's potatoes in Irish. Right. There's only room for that many in one layer, so we'll have to double these up, lads. You'll all be coming back out again anyway. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. We're on the move. And we haven't gotten very far. Oh, no, so too late. That's not good. That was my interpretation. It's interpretive dance. That's the piece is called life. Just spinning around, getting dizzy. And you get nowhere and you die. Amicia. Bees taking no interest in it all. Bees are like, I'm all about that sage, about that sage. No, Amicia, I'm all about that sage, about that sage. No, Amicia, I'm all about that sage, about that sage. Even though there's nothing to get, nothing to get. It's well exhausted because you've been all over it. Look, there, over here, over there. I'm not chasing his way, lads. Yeah, he's like, oh, there's more over here. There is. And a bag of manure. Hang on. Wait, Switzboo. Oh, Switzboo, how are you? Anyone else? Ah, finally. I told you about this earlier, lads. You have much better luck here. And he's certainly getting stuck in for a place. And Cade Blyla. Bonjarrick. Bonjarrick Jas. You have to take a moment sometimes, don't you? Sure, what's the point if you're ever just working all the time? Technically, you know. But this doesn't need to be battered. I'll bleed and batter you. But yeah, there's the best bits, there's the best moments to stop and looking at the bees, that kind of thing. That's the only reason I have these sage here. I'm not the biggest fan of sage. I've got one in the front, I've got one over there, I've got an old one under there, struggling under some wind. But the flowers are beautiful, and the bees love them. So, and not just the bees, other stuff to. But the bees are fun. Buzzing away. I'm just buzzing off, yeah. As you see, I didn't water them in when I transplanted them and divided them. I just knocked over. Oh, that's fine. And I haven't done anything with that. Sweet William in its third year. That looks like it's gonna flower, or it looks like it has flowered actually, doesn't it? Yeah, you can't even see that, sorry. There. Oh, I think it needs pollination or something, doesn't it? Maybe from one or the other. Something's happening there though, so I'm pleased with that. And it's third year, like, you know. Money makes you hate me. Yours is so big. You're so funny. I talk to my plants also. Take plants and more flowers. Yeah, flowers must be also. So many things must go well there for conditions. Well, it can be perfect. It's really, you know, there's a lot of variables other than the weather conditions as well. You're dealing with rats coming in from over the wall. It's a big deal. These were divided and moved around. They started over by the door, and then they were moved on top of the gate. They spent a year there, and then they were moved over here, really small, and a tiny little, like, just wood underneath the door put up as well. That's the behind the scenes. But it's only a tiny little spot, and I thought, oh, it'd be a nice little compact Amici there. And it's just gone nuts. Gone absolute. That's why I have the wood propping it up. It's just like trailing on the ground, which I don't mind really, like, but it's just when I'm walking by, like, I don't want to be standing on it. Talking to it one day and then standing on it the next. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're nice. I can't remember the name of this particular variety of it, but I had another one as well that I think they benefit from being moved around, to be honest with you, and maybe even divided as well. But like, I was learning as I go with that, like just moving it around and whatever. It was out of like necessity, really, you know. Bees are so cute in your country, so fluffy. Well, they're the bumblebees. We've got our native honeybees as well, and I think we've some sort of yeah. The wasps are cool too. Both of which, unfortunately, I've got a honeybee being eaten by a crab spider on one of my shorts. Yeah, but you know, biodiversity, all brought on by the kale flowers initially. So yeah, the kale flowers, as it turns out, are a beautiful camouflage for the crab spider. But the bees also love the kale flowers, so that's how that came about. I'm gonna throw these in here. I'm staring at things for the moment. The difference. About 3-year-old Sweet Williams. I think that's suffering a little bit. It's yellowing a little bit, but despite that, I actually quite like it. Reminds me of the limeyness of Euphorbia, which I like. That's like, I mean, Euphorbia, the sort of Irish spurge one, the native one here, not any sort of cultivar or anything. Into the graveyard for the moment with you. Well, that's not actually dead, as you can see, nor is that. But it's being squished by all these. Just the graveyard. They're just so tough, the stems on them, so, you know. The smell of that mint lad. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Anyway. I don't think I'll be getting that compost today by the looks of it. Gotta set you down. Please don't fall. What are you doing? Putting pots in this trench here. Why? Just so I can water them. I'm gonna use the water as well. Thanks for asking. Something stinks over here. It must be the brassica graveyard. Maybe I'm standing too close to myself. Also, good point there. Yeah, I'll still have this bug in the room. Technically a weed. Buttercup. Look, this thing pointing at me like it wants to stab me. You can hardly see it on the camera, but it's there. Look. Sorry. Anyway, just was for anybody with ADD watching this specifically for you. You're very welcome. Does your family garden or just yourself? Just mostly me. You mean has it been like a traditional kind of thing through the years, a passed on sort of hobby? Grandmother, mother, grandfather, father, great grandfather. No. I was the first one to start doing it. Although my father used to throw the odd onion and potato out to get rid of any stray cats that were coming in. We had cats ourselves, like so. Not to actually hit them with it, but just to shoo them away. And I remember noticing how the onions that I'd find down under the hedge that would, be forgotten about, they'd start taking root, and the same with the potatoes as well. And that was my first kind of I was freaked out by it though, I was like, what? They just grow in the ground and all that muck? Like, it was just dirt to me, soil was just dirty dirt, you know what I mean? That one's split. They're too big anyway, but I'm not using them for salads. I'm throw them in a stir fry. Sort of instead of water chestnuts or something, for that little bit of a crunch. Anyway. Oh, you're definitely a weed. I think you are as well. No, I don't want you there anyway. I don't know why all these corianders coming up. It's ridiculous. So much of it just here. I could put something else there. What's that beetroot? What is that? Charge? It's beetroot root. Speaking of which, yes, I'll do that right now. Those are bleeding. Full of fucking. I don't know what that is. I don't want you there. Go on out. Who do you think you are? I'm a rocket mate. Yeah, but I mean, who do you think you are growing there? You planted me there. Shut up. Quiet, you. Smart ass. Here, take that and shut up. Ooh. It's not like I'm short with my rocket anyway. It's growing everywhere. Just growing wild in the place now at this point. Are you alright there? No. Oh, fuck you. I don't care. You can sit down there with the other abandoned transplants and whatever. They were suckers, so now look, one sucker, one strawberry, a couple of strawberries maybe. The birds or whatever can have them. I'm not too bothered. I took that off a plant in the front and it's starting to flower now. There's a bunch of those, so I know what I'll be selling next year in my front garden, my driveway. Roll up. That's a joke, by the way. Oh, it's windy. Me too, it's just me. Yeah. We're all alone in our plants. It can sometimes be a kind of lonely hobby sometimes. What do you think? Should I I'll take that one out anyway, and I'll leave them to bottle it out. And I'll take that one. Oh, no you won't. You'll take a leaf of it and that's all you'll take. And you'll invite trouble as a result, my friend. I'll take that one out. I'll leave those two together. They might be okay. I don't know. Right, sure, I know nothing about nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. And that's fine. Beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. That's my second wacko song. People call me wacko and I don't like it. Well, stop dangling your baby off a balcony. Well, that'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Or whoever's baby it is. Oh, we're getting, what are we getting? We're not getting political, but we're getting sort of gossipy news, gossipy sort of. So it's only because, I've been culturally indoctrinated. What are you? Are you a determiner or what? I don't know anymore. I don't know what anything is anymore. That cucumber's struggling. I better do something with it. Just the two of us. Gardening alone. That's an oxymoron. Oh yeah. They're like, I thought you were going to water us and transplant some seedlings in here. That's right, fellas. See, I'm a step crazier. Not only do I talk to the flowers and plants, but I also talk to the pots. Nothing but soil in them. Isn't that right, strawberry? These have been getting absolutely eaten alive, but they came up sort of voluntarily, and they're quite bushy. So I thought, yeah, grand. Do you know what's been eating them? Woodlice. That's the one. Look there. I see you. There's a kale waiting to be planted out. Look. Feckers. If I stay still, you won't see me. I see you. There's loads. And it's not the fact that I've got pallet wood or chip bark. And when I moved in here, there was a bunch of them. When I took out the lawn, as I was saying in one of my previous streams, they literally all started coming out and crawling up. I was like, that's it. I'm being invaded by woodlice. Look at the happy heads on them over there. I know they're simple little flowers and all that. Big dopey happy heads on them. Big derpy dopey heads on them. And they're Swiss as well. You don't expect that at a Swiss, do you? They have kind of cute dopey heads on them. You have to go over and have a closer look, lads. They've been getting nibbled as well, as you can see, by woodlice. And the little baby. Daddy, Mummy, and little baby. Boop. 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 Do you feel left out? Boop. There you go. The smallest courgette in the world. Edible flowers, so I should grab that already, shouldn't I? Yeah, but not now, because I'm not going to do it with it now. Look at this thing. Don't mind me. I'll just fall over it. I was just using that to hold my camera in the rain while I planted that. I still haven't watered that in yet. I'm a sucker for not watering things in. I think there actually might be a drop of water in there. Let me just move my fleece. That's where you were sitting. That's the very plant pot that I said you were resting against last time. There's a wee drop in here now. Oh yeah, that's sunflowers. They're like a couple of homeless, addicted sunflowers on the side of the street, aren't they? Meth addicted sunflowers there. Look at them. On the pictures you'd see on Instagram. San Francisco. These two meth-addled sunflowers. Is that better for you? You're starting to flower. Is it the same one I had earlier? I don't think it was. No, it is. Is it? No, that's the one there. Oh my goodness. That's a chrysanthemum though. Ah, well noticed there, mister. I was gonna pronounce my name there for you. Chrysanthemum. Apparently rats don't like them. I wonder why I'm growing chrysanthemums this year. Mad with the mint, mad with the chrysanthemums. Going crazy with the sage, leaving it around the place on windowsills and all like I'm some sort of witch. The neighbours would be looking at me going, this guy is insane. Steer clear of that insane person. I agree. What's that, carrots? Okay, there you go. Never deny a carrot a drink of water. That's what my grandfather used to tell me. Am I joking? As I said, I never met my grandfather and they never grew vegetables. But apparently, my family going back generations, there's a market gardener in there somewhere and a bunch of landscapers back when the British had more control than they do now over these lands. But again, we won't fear into anything political. It's just a fact that pertains to the anecdote. Now, any excess water is going to go to the spuds. I think I've put up my Arden up spuds video yet? No, I haven't actually. That'll be the next video. And you'll see me doing this. How exciting. You'll see a guy moving soil around with a spade. Gripping. Oh my god. I'm sure you can't wait. Put it on your calendar. Oh, actually don't, because I don't know when I'm going to be editing that. It's one of my least favourite things to do, editing videos. And I know I'm very bad at it, but it still takes a lot of time. How could something that bad take so much time? It's a fair question. You should be on more level ground, shouldn't you? But you're watering the leaves and all there, my friend. I was nearly going to say my name again. But my name's the name of the channel. But people are a little bit unsure how to pronounce it. But it's fine, you can pronounce it anyway. I've heard everything. I've heard absolutely everything. Every possible I've even heard variations of it that don't even have the letters that are being pronounced in my name. Like someone was imagining some accent that wasn't there or something. The strawberries are huge, the dwarf melons are just... No, that's one or two of the sort of bigger ones, and I picked one earlier, it's sitting in there. I'm going to grab that one as well and have it with some yogurt at some point. But I think once I picked them, the small, like the rest of them were tiny. Like I was staring at them here in the distance. Next to another volunteer, I believe that. Lobularia maritima, what do they call it? I always call it something else though. I always miss it. I always call it lobelia, I believe. But it's lobularia, I believe. Maritima, or maritima. And there's another actually. Am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? There's one here. A sort of, I don't know if it came from a... Sorry, zoom's wrecking my head. I think it maybe came from a runner. But start growing there. On the ground. Next to that one. So I made sure to take off all the first few flowers that came. I should have even taken off more, but it was really vigorous, and I didn't want the rhubarb to outcompete it, or the volunteer sunflowers to outcompete it either. So, but I made sure to take off all the first flowers and let the actual plant get a little bit bigger, so it could support even more fruit, hopefully, whether it be big or small. But more leaves, more solar energy, more more fruit. Theoretically, anyway. If it's getting more energy, it's gonna want to put it into seed production. So, and that's the fruit, isn't it? Like, it's technically not a fruit at all, is it? Or with seeds on the outside of it. But anyway, that's it. I'm packing up from there. Yeah. The bees are not fond of that at all. I mean, I guess when you've got that lush looking sage and the childflowers, so they're not. But then that's pretty sweet too. I guess they just prefer that. Maybe there's nothing in there for them. I'm not sure. But I am sure I'll don't. It needs to be dead-headed. Oh, look at that. They always get away. They always get away. And that's how I ended up. So I ended up with lots of them popping up all around the place. Like there, for instance. And I've also got a lot of self-heal coming up, which is a native to this country, and it just mats the ground. So I'll have to come out. Like, I had a good day of weeding here a couple of weeks ago. It was that grand, but we had lots of sun, and then we had lashings of rain. We've got a little patch of grass there. A little memory, past memory. There's the self-heal. See, it just hugs everything and mats on. Lovely little flowers, kind of like I guess it's kind of like the wild mint kind of flowers, or maybe Nepeta. Do you know Nepeta? It's kind of similar kind of flowers to that. Those kind of. There's a volunteer rocket that popped up about 4 years ago, and it's really woody. It's called. I refer to these as bonsai rockets because they're just like mini trees after a while. That's not even. That's a stick that I kept there to keep it in check, so I could walk through. Okay, makes sense. Trippy man. Alyssum, yeah, that's the common name. Lobularia maritima, I think is the botanical name. Now, hang on a moment. There we go. Sorry. Hoverflies and bees like them too. Sometimes, like, there's different rockets going around anyway. And I don't know what the difference is, only that these are like kind of more serrated leaves, and they've got yellow flowers. And then there's other ones that are got more sort of, and it's not just that they're young that they have rounded leaves, but they just generally have more rounded leaves. They're still quite serrated, and they have white flowers as well. I don't know if that's one of the other ones with the sharp ones. That's another one of those little ever-grown bonsai ones. Just keep coming out, no matter what's over the top of it, we'll just keep going. Although having said that, there was one here for several years that disappeared this year. I don't know what that is. Is it garlic? No, it's scallions, I think. That much bunched together? Maybe they were multi-sown and put out last year. I didn't put them there this year. I mean, there's a graveyard here at the moment. I'm not doing that with that corner. It's the darkest. And how are we doing? Oh, we're okay. Hear that burb? Hey, burb. That's an ash tree. That's what they make the hurls out of here for the game of hurling. It's fast growing and very destructive in paving and stuff like that. It's a right old fecker to get out. And I wonder if my neighbours know that. That's why I asked about the last neighbours who were there. I don't know. self-heal medicine. Yeah, well, I mean, they used to use it traditionally for everything, but hence its name, I guess. But no, I wouldn't be using it for anything. It's it's not that good. Thyme's like probably the most medicinal thing in this garden, really, when you think about it. There's a big old bunch of it over there. It's old. There's also a hedgehog I call. Here, it just started growing from a little. I just randomly put in some. I don't use this though, it just grows there. This is a happy little life. Full of that. Okay, that's fine. I'm not using it. More selfie coming up everywhere though. It's taking over. No, it's a mess in this corner. They're kind of cute. I cut that back and use that pot for something more valuable. I took that out of carrots and a chrysanthemum. And you see, they're not getting enough air. That's pretty shocking, isn't it? It's not all positives. The multi-headed chrysanthemum there, that's just gonna take all the goodness out, and they're not gonna grow. But I was just like experiment. As I said, I wanted them in containers so I could put them up on things, but this is currently on the ground, but there's no carrots there yet. Just, yeah. Anyway, look, that's probably going to turn into a white flower, I'd imagine. Much more rounded leaves on that rocket. It's still only young and currently dying. I was just ripped it out of the ground, didn't I? Bees are slowly making their way up. Slowly but surely. Anyway, I might as well just bring that stuff over here. That'd be easier than bringing all those pots in, wouldn't it? Genius, this guy. Genius. I've looked it up before about like how medicinal it is, the self-heal. But as with a lot of old stuff, like they kind of just use it for a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? You can kind of look through a lot of things like that, and it's kind of the lists are generally the same for what it's used for. I can't remember specifically, but it's not something that would benefit me, I don't think, because if it did, I would have remembered that, and I wouldn't be. But I've probably been too forgiving of it, you know. It's starting to really take over now. Everywhere you look, even under the rocket there, I see you. I see you. That's there's lawn taken up, and then cardboard put down, and then wood chips on the cardboard. A lot of cardboard now, as you can see, sort of becoming like soil-like. Yeah, I prefer topping that up every couple of years, but this year I haven't done it, and I don't think I will either, because it's just an expense. So I don't think I'm ready to. I need to buy compost again now. Anyway, speaking of which, I don't think I'll be doing that today. 24% of my battery as well. Anyway, I better hurry up and do these then. And then I think I'll end the stream because my battery's not going to be able to take it. These poor buggers. Just like trying to find places to put them, and I was stuck. With peers, I was struggling. Getting about 3 hours of light. Struggling, dead. These fucking calendula taking over. I put in a bunch of them. I was like, maybe one of them will grow. Of course, they're all fucking growing perfectly fine. Too well, in fact. So, I'm going to take all of that out of there. Maybe leave that coriander. And put something else in it that's more likely to survive. With less light. Out of your raised garden beds also. Yeah, you have certainly used your space well. I've used, well, no, my old garden was basically, didn't have these sort of walkways here. Hope you can see that through this is like, you could fit a wheelchair through there, you know what I mean? But my old garden, like, I'd literally be, walking like that around the beds because I just wanted as much ground space as possible. But when I was designing this one, I didn't design it really. It was just like one here, one there, whatever. Where's most of the light? Okay, grand. But I wanted the space for my for family members and friends or whatever to be able to walk around and be able to talk to people and wreck their head with stuff. You know, I tell you, last year when we heard about the rats, it was just me out here, and nobody wanted any English food. It's more for me. But yeah, I'm not really one to share what I do in the garden really. But I have a chronic illness, and it hit me pretty hard at the end of last year. I thought all hope was lost. For some reason I said I'd set up a YouTube channel as a vlog, kind of to document what I'm doing here. The raised beds are pallet wood, untreated as well, so oh my god. So they're gradually disintegrating one way or another, either just falling apart like that one there. You see it's kind of like become a jigsaw of pieces. It gives a character, alright, and then this one over here, for example, is getting attacked with fungus, and that's breaking that down. And of course, not to mention the woodlice are doing their little bit as well, but they're less impactful than my shoddy workmanship and constant rain and then fungus and so on. And I don't, not like, damn you fungus, it's literally doing what it does, you know what I mean? I'm always happy to see mushrooms and stuff popping up in the garden. It's a good sign. Here we are. Bit on the windy side, but we're here anyway. I mean, carry on as best we can. Do you know what, actually? Hang on a second here. Genius. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to get a contraption to put this camera. Contraption with like dodgy plastic shells. Sheep or alpaca wool young seedlings in the garden. Is that something that's somewhere there? Seedlings in the garden. No. Well, I've never done it. I don't know anybody. I literally don't know anybody personally who does it. I've met some people sort of passing, you know, because I kind of bring it up every now and then just to figure out if there's anybody. But I've never heard that now. Not to say that it's not though. Oh yeah. Basil's there. What's this? Purpose farm broccoli. The babies. Babies into the pots. Whew. It's intense stuff. I'll give you an idea on that. What's this? Just poking a few holes. You'd think the root system can't be that long, you know? But we may be surprised. Do you hear that? I hope you. This doesn't look like enough, lads. I'd say something like 24, wouldn't it? I'm not counting myself, I'm counting my own. Just see what happens. Jeepers. I'm so weak. And white. It's going to get on my finger, I suppose. Oh. Longer than you think, right? What the hell is that? It was Rudbeckia last year, and this year it was some sort of determinate tomato, apparently. The sheer laziness, huh? We're gonna need a bigger hole. PSBs in the house. I'm just a little tired. So long. That's what she said last night. Shh. 3 cup of scrambled eggs. Speed it up there, mister. The rain's coming. A familiar sentence here in this part of the world. Four. Oh, let me stretch. I know, but maybe. At least you label, I forget sometimes. I know that's the problem with my tomatoes this year. Well, that and that I'm not sure if the right ones were delivered. Some were lost during the delivery process as well, so that sort of heightens my distrust. Yeah, I try though sometimes, but then I use tape and I'm trying to put marker and all on it. So. Anyway, I'm going to continue on with this. My battery is just telling me that I'm 5% and I'm about to run. So I'll continue on with this, and what I'll do is I'll put up a short of how I get on if I don't blow away in the meantime. Danielle, thanks very much for your company. I really appreciate it. My hair is blowing, everything's blowing. I appreciate your company, and thanks very much for chatting to me. And yeah, I hope all goes well with you and your peas and broccoli, if not just the leaves but the rest of it too. And yeah, I'm down to 4% now, so I need to go and charge this, and I'll continue on with that. And let you know how I go. I might even start another live stream at some point. Who knows? Depends how dark it gets, how rainy it gets, how tired I am and upset. Well, yeah, right. Thanks for stopping by, okay? And maybe I'll talk to you later, but if not later today, well, later. There's that pigeon, he's up on that house. Right, cheerio. Talk to you later. Take care. So, bye-bye.